Hi.
Welcome to
Thursday with the Mavens.
It doesn't roll off like Monday
No,
with the
nothing
Mavens.
does.
I tell you.
Oh, I've got a plant growing out of my head. I just
That's funny.
noticed it.
I can scoot a little bit. Let's see. There.
Yeah, I'll
Is that
just
it?
hide it with my giant head.
Hi guys. Happy Thursday.
Man, it has been a busy week.
Such
with
a busy week.
Christmas, and I'm kind of like
Wow.
sitting on your lap.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey. Hi, guys. Hey.
We're gonna get cozy here. Yeah, and it's the week between Christmas and New Year's, it's a fun week for us because people oftentimes are more motivated right now to start thinking about their health, to start thinking about their goals, and we can do that any time of the year, but we've been getting tons of questions, and we wanted to jump into them. So we're going to answer a bunch of questions here. If you guys have more questions, just put them in the comment box. We'll try to pay attention and we'll do our best to tackle them. You can always DM us. You can reach out anyway. Go to our website, macromavens.life.
Email.
Yeah.
Snail mail.
All
Do
the
people do
things.
that anymore?
I love getting real letters.
I do too, and
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite things about Christmas is we get all the Christmas cards
Yeah.
from friends and family.
Yeah.
We don't send a Christmas card anymore, sorry, but
Someday,
I
maybe.
love getting them.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Actually got quite a few cards from clients this year, and it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Super fun.
Yeah. Okay, so we were going to do a little 2022 review, and then we were going to do some Q&A, and then we're going to do some what can we all do to... What was that?
I was just wondering where you were going. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
And then just things we can all do to just kind of reevaluate going into the new year, because it does allow us an opportunity to pause, evaluate, and shift.
Yeah.
If we need to, and if you want to.
Yeah. And I really like to take the new year. You know, a lot of people, sometimes you look at me real intensely.
Sorry. I just really want to know what you're going to say.
I like it. But the new year, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, is such a great time to reevaluate your goals. You know, a lot of people set New Year's resolutions, which I think are fantastic. What's sad about New Year's resolutions is the majority of people feel like they fail before they even get to February. There's some things that you can do to kind of keep you on track to reaching your goals and not giving up on your resolutions quite so quickly. We'll talk about those, but really taking the opportunity of the new year and the motivation that comes with that and using it and taking advantage of that, because I mean, we talk about it all the time that motivation is really fleeting, and you really have to be disciplined before you're motivated, and you have to rely on your discipline over motivation. But like, this is a time of the year where most people feel some sort of motivation to make positive change in their life, and I say take that motivation and run with it.
Especially because, like Haley said, when motivation isn't there, discipline needs to kick in. Well, what creates discipline? Habits do. What creates habits? Having a strategy. And that's one of the things that we love doing with our clients, is having a coach in your corner from an accountability standpoint that's walking you through, that's reminding you things, that's course correcting, that has a plan specifically for you and your bio-individuality. It's super powerful, and it should, if you put the work in, really, like, it should set you up to make small shifts that create healthy habits. Bless you.
Thank you.
That change the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
Like, it's really your life, because, man, I mean, we say this often and we see it often, and there's a ton of areas, I'll speak for myself, that I would love to continue to improve in, you know, my health and my joy meter, I mean, all of the things, but there are so many people that live in pretty extreme discomfort, and for the most part, you don't have to.
No.
And it doesn't have to be too difficult or too extreme, and you don't have to suffer deprivation, and it can be sustainable, and there's a way to do it. And I don't know, so many people try to go at it on their own, and great, like, doing anything is better than doing nothing. But if you want sustainable, lasting results, and you really want a plan that, like, makes a difference, hire a coach, whether it's us or not. Like, there are really knowledgeable people out there that can take you down a path, that can get you where you want to go faster, that have the knowledge, that you take the guesswork out of it. And like, it just, I think we should all consider coaches for a lot of areas of life, not just nutrition. Like,
totally.
it's, you know, it's huge. And I don't know, I just want people to know that there's a solution. Like, there is a solution to most things.
Yeah.
And I don't know, if you're curious, let us know. Like, let's have a conversation.
Totally. Yeah.
Let's do a 2022 review, just like real quick, because it's so fun to look back and see. We don't want to bore you guys, and we won't spend a ton of time on it.
She's backpedaling right now.
I am, because I don't, like, we're here to help you guys and to educate, like, not to be like, look, but it's so fun to look back on the last year, specifically for Macro Mavens, and be like, wow, like, all the people
oh my
that
gosh.
we got to work with.
I would love it if at some point, and we should do this, because you really love data.
I do.
I enjoy reading about data and doing things like that, but I don't get the satisfaction that you do. But if we could, like, go back and see, like, how many, like, collective pounds were lost from all of our clients.
Yeah.
It would be so incredible.
Yeah.
So incredible. And not just that, but, like, really, like, how many people have come through the Macro Mavens program.
We have got to partner with over 1,000 clients, you
Yeah.
guys, which is so incredible. And the change with those clients, I mean, it's really profound. And wouldn't
cool.
that be so cool?
We'll put Emmy on that. She loves numbers, so she can calculate.
I mean, really, because it's, you know, it's so much more than just the fat loss. It's all of the other things that come with it. Like the fact that we get to be a part of the lives of our clients, it's such an honor. It's so satisfying to all of us coaches. And then to hear all of the things that come from it in terms of not just the physical transformations, which are amazing, but the confidence and the sleep and the energy and the mood improvement, the hormone balance, the impact on people's families, on their relationships, like it extends so much further than just what we're doing.
Yeah.
And in the last year, we got to bring on 2 additional coaches who are just doing an amazing job, like so amazing. We brought on our Fit program, which is our custom fitness program that is an add-on to our nutrition. If people are interested, it's not mandatory by any means. We got to be on several like media outlets.
Yeah. We were on the news, like up in Portland, you guys. It was so fun.
So fun.
So fun. It made me a little bit sweaty. Like,
Same.
like we're on live TV. Like, I guess this is kind of like similar, but
I know, but we get to direct it.
yeah, we're in charge of this.
Yeah.
We know what's happening here most of the time.
I mean, we dreamt a lot. We grew a lot. We did our first group coaching. We created tons of new tools. We have a tool for all of our 5 pillars of wellness, for education. And we have so much more coming.
Man.
Like the future's so bright.
So bright. So much more. So if you are just now like learning about us and who we are and what we're doing, like stay with us, stay tuned, because there is a lot coming down the pike. And we really believe that education is power. And it's one of the things that we talk about with our clients a lot. Like we want our clients to know why we make the decisions that we do in their individual nutrition plans, and what's happening with your body, and what happens when you eliminate stress, and what happens when you get great sleep habits. And one of my favorite things is when I have a client who has big, huge, lofty goals when it comes to body composition or weight loss or whatever it is. And I get messages like, I had no idea that I needed to, or I had no idea that my energy levels could be this good all day long.
Yeah.
Or I had no idea that I could sleep this good. Or I had no idea about, you know, feeling like the pain that I was feeling regularly and every day, like wasn't normal. I had no idea that I could feel this good. Those are the comments that like light me up inside,
same.
because like that's what we are all about. That's why our motto is feel good first.
Yeah.
We really want our clients to feel good, look good, and then go out and do good. Because honestly, if you feel good, you already start looking better.
Yeah.
It's just, it's reflected in your face and your body and all the things when you feel good. And so it is just, it's a joy, you guys. We are so blessed to do what we do and to get to help people. And so if you're on this journey with us, we are super excited for the future. And we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Maybe in a bit.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so we're going to jump into some of your guys' questions, some of which have come in over the last couple days, and we just have not had a chance to answer them. But as we said before, if you weren't on here yet, if you have questions that you want to ask, just pop them in the comments, and we'll do our best to tackle them. For those of you, one question, and maybe it's on here, but we do have our special going on. We don't run specials very often, but with, you know, the beginning of the new year, hello. Sorry, we're on Facebook over here, Instagram over here, and we just got a hello. But We, right now, if you sign up for any one of our plans with any one of our coaches, you get 25% off your first month. If you sign up with a buddy, a family member, anybody, you're at least one other person, you both get 50% off your first month on any
It's
package.
a huge savings, you guys.
It really is.
It really, really is.
And that's for our custom one-on-one individual macro nutrition coaching plan, which also includes all the education on things like deep and restorative sleep and stress resilience and non-inflammatory eating if you're interested. And you have access to all of our groups in our community. And it's not a stagnant assignment. Like, we are shifting you and looking at your data week over week to really get you towards your goals, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The majority of our clients do come to us with the goal of body recomposition and fat loss, but we also work with people for performance, for muscle gain, for all of the things.
Yeah, that actually answered one of the questions was, do you guys just, here, I'll read it word for word. It is, I don't want or need to lose weight. How can a macro plan help me? And so, like, yeah, like Amy was saying, we have lots of clients who come to us for performance. Let's say that you want, like one of Emmy's clients really wanted to increase her mile time. Like, and we can do that through nutrition. If you want to put on muscle, if you feel like you have been the scrawny person your whole life and you're like, I really want to build muscle, like, we can help you get there. It's not just a weight loss program, you guys. It is like, it is optimizing nutrition to help you feel your best in whatever your goals are, whether that is muscle building, gaining weight. We have some clients who really struggle to gain weight. We want to help you there. Losing weight, performance, all of those things. It's all, we can adjust and reflect what we do through nutrition to help you meet any of those goals.
Absolutely. We just got a question on the Instagram side. What's your experience with breastfeeding moms? We love them.
We have so many breastfeeding mamas, and they're kind of our favorite.
Yeah, it's so fun. And what I will say is that baby comes first. Like, absolutely. And so we do ask our breastfeeding moms to consider pumping, even if they don't need to, at least once a day, so that we can really monitor volume. So we are going to work, with everybody's a little bit different. So the process is going to look different for everybody anyways, but we're going to make sure that you are not in a position where your milk supply goes down or is in jeopardy at all. But honestly, it's usually the other way around, because when you're consistently feeding and fueling your body and getting the right macronutrient composition, especially looking at the balance with healthy fats and then hydration, milk supply often goes up significantly while fat loss is occurring. So it's actually really fun. We all love working with nursing mamas. Yeah.
And I wish, I was a nursing mama a long time ago, and I just so wish that I wouldn't have, I feel like the whole macro thing wasn't a thing back then. It was a long time. It just
wasn't a ton of
long time, yeah. And I really wish that I would have known what I know now back then and could have applied it. Because that really would have been great.
Even just seeing the quality of the milk is so fun.
Yes,
for
you know
our
how
clients.
it separates out? Oh my gosh, Anyway, we won't bore you with the boring details.
But if you're interested, you can head over to macromavens.life. Click the hop on board button. It doesn't commit you to anything, but it does let one of our coaches reach out, connect with you, see if we're a good fit, answer any questions, and then if so, we'll get you started.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, let's just start at the top. So some of these are personal questions. I mean, not that personal. Like the first one is, do you specifically drink alcohol?
I'll answer that. No, I don't. Not that I couldn't. You're welcome. I've never drank alcohol. So for me,
it's not that she's never had it. She's had it.
Oh yeah, I'll have sips and different things, but I just, and most of my friends and my husband, they'll all partake in drinks, and I just don't need it. And so for me, there's a part of me that's I would love to enjoy a glass of wine or go to a tasting room, and I go to those places sometimes, but I, one, don't like the taste of alcohol, and two, I don't need it. I have very little to no inhibition anyways, and so
it's true, you guys. She's
I have
not
a
lying.
ton of fun without it, so I don't need it as a social lubricant, and so why convince myself to try to like something that's not healthy for me? And a lot of our clients do continue to partake in alcohol, and that absolutely is okay. That's your prerogative. You just need to know, we do have them track it as fat, and you just need to know that it is inflammatory. So you will have an inflammatory response, and you'll see that likely on the scale, which doesn't necessarily equate to fat. But we have a whole live that we've done with a big component of it being on alcohol, and we're actually creating a tool specific to alcohol. So we don't want our clients to feel deprived. Like if it's something you enjoy, you can fit it in. It just needs to be preferably in moderation. And some people don't. Some people don't change that and they can still have success. But it is very inflammatory and it has an effect on the brain and an effect on your sleep, and all of those things affect your metabolism.
Yeah, you just have to ask yourself, is it worth it?
Do you drink alcohol?
Sometimes. Not very often anymore. I'd say I was never like the kind of person who would like open a bottle of wine in my house. I just, for one, my husband and I are very frugal, and if you open up a bottle of wine and it doesn't, you need to drink it, and then, but neither one of us can go through a bottle of wine in a night. So anyway, it just, for us, it's never been a staple in our lifestyle. Socially, yeah, I enjoy having a drink from time to time, but it's not a regular thing. It's a every once in a while.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this next question because it's in relation to alcohol. How do I explain why I'm not drinking socially?
Yeah, so I think I get this question from a lot of my clients who, when they do decide to eliminate alcohol from their nutrition, from their diet, like how do they go into social situations where people are used to them drinking alcohol, and how do they adjust for that? And I think that, I tend to be a little bit more forthcoming. Like, well, I'm just not drinking alcohol. Like, I just don't. I want to see I want to see what my body feels like without it, or I am trying to, learn how to fuel my body best and see where alcohol fits in, or just order like a soda water with lime, and nobody will even know the difference. You know, it's honestly like I feel like we put too much pressure on ourselves, like that people. I think that we think people think about us more than they do.
Yeah.
And really, like, people just think about themselves. And so oftentimes we're very concerned about, well, what are people going to think about if I'm not drinking alcohol? Well, most likely they're not thinking about it at all. They're thinking about themselves. And so you do you is what I tell my clients. I'm like, tell them that, you're trying to optimize your health and you're trying to figure out where alcohol fits in on that. And if that means that you're going through a period where you're abstaining from alcohol, then great. Yeah. And if your friends are supportive of you, then maybe they're not your real friends.
Yeah. And same thing with when you're counting macros, because a lot of people ask the question like, gosh, my friends or my family are saying like, why are you weighing your food? And it is just for a season. Like, I don't want to have to weigh my food with specificity for a long period of time. But in order for us to really understand what's coming, what's going, that you're consistent in how you're fueling your body, and that we can then change that over time to really get your base metabolic rate up, we need that specificity. And so people are really understanding typically if you associate it with how you feel. So simply saying something like, I'm just really working through figuring out what foods help me feel my best. People, for whatever reason, are so much more accepting of that. And you don't owe anybody an explanation, but it's easier than sometimes people being like, why are you dieting? Or why are you like, you can do whatever you want, but we don't consider what we do a diet. Like it's a lifestyle shift because we actually want to fuel you more over time so that you can have a higher caloric intake, a more flexible metabolism, and that you're not feeling deprived so you have sustainability.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm in. Oh, and then we talked about that one. What about, we talked about that one. Man, we are just ticking through these really quickly. Do I have to have an exercise routine to sign up with Macro Mavens?
Nope.
No. In fact, we want to dial in your nutrition first. Yeah. So like if you come to us as a sedentary person and somebody who's really never exercised before, we're not going to throw you to the wolves and say, you need to join a gym and you need to lift weights, you need to do this. Nope, we're going to dial in nutrition first, because honestly, and this is where I see like New Year's resolutions failing, is people want it all. They think that like if I join a gym and I go to the gym every single day, then my body's going to change in the way I want it to. And sometimes that happens, yes, but oftentimes you are seeking the results that you will get in the kitchen from the gym. And that's where the mix-up occurs. Yeah. If you dial in your nutrition first, and then we add on exercise later when you've already established a firm foundation of healthy eating. And then we include exercise. That's when the magic happens.
So powerful.
Because really, 80 to 90% of your body composition shift happens with what you put in your mouth. The other 10 to 20% happens in the gym.
You can't exercise your way out of a bad fork.
No.
Like, you just can't.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some hearts for that.
Girl. Oh, yeah. Well, it's true because, and I can say that because, like, I was a gym rat forever. For years, I was busting my butt at the gym every single day, and my body wasn't changing.
Yeah.
It just wasn't changing until I got on a macronutrient plan, and I got a coach, and the coach was telling me, okay, we need to shift things. You're not giving your body enough protein to build the muscle that you're trying to get in the gym. And once we made those shifts, it was like literally like days, and my body started shifting, and all of a sudden I was seeing the results that I had been trying to get in the gym for years, and they were happening with me not even going to the gym. So then once I got that under control, then I was able to take those gains I made in the kitchen, take it to the gym. All of a sudden I have way more energy, way more stamina. I'm way stronger.
Way stronger.
And it's just like, it was like compounding glory upon glory. And so we all think that joining a gym is going to solve our problems and is going to change our bodies, but let's be real. Like, it really happens in the kitchen.
Well, and statistically, if you try to do too many things at once, the likelihood of you sticking with any one of those things significantly goes down. And so, yes, exercise is important. Moving your body is important. And
Absolutely.
We do educate our clients on that, and we are going to work with you on that. But foundationally, getting that nutrition in check and understanding how to fuel your body and your brain is going to then impact things like your sleep and your energy and your cognition, which are all then going to help you in the gym, because people have it so backwards. They have it so backwards. Or they'll think like, oh, I just ate this, now I need to go work out. Like, that's a dangerous slope.
It honestly, and I think that that's where a lot of like food issues come in. You know, like we talk about food shaming a lot, and how, like, especially over the holidays, if you indulged in something that isn't typical, and then you're like, oh, and I hear it from my clients all the time, like, I totally blew it, and oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated, and I hate myself. And it's like, stop doing that. Like, we are grown-ups. We decide what we eat.
You didn't say your phrase.
What's my phrase?
Grown-ass adults.
Oh yeah, we are grown-ass adults. We are.
My boys are close
by. But we make our decisions. And like, if you make a decision to have a piece of cake or a piece of fudge or a piece of chocolate or whatever it is, an alcoholic beverage, just own it.
Own it.
Don't shame yourself afterwards. Like, what a waste. Like, you can't go backwards. And so just own it and then move on.
But I will say that when you start fueling your body and satiating yourself, you have less cravings. When you understand the role of the different macronutrients, and you have a balanced plate, and that just comes naturally because you're hitting your numbers, you're not going to want those sweet treats in the afternoon as much. Can you fit them in? For sure. Is there a way to fit them in where you don't have as big of a glucose response? For sure. Like, there's all these little tools, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I felt like I kind of got on the soapbox there for a
I
minute.
loved it. You did.
That's normally your spot.
No, I
save you a spot on my soapbox.
I'm here for it. Are you still having a special? Yes, we answered that. We absolutely are. Sorry, my kids are in the background. We answered that. Okay, this is a good one. This one just came in right before we started. How to know when to focus on fat burning versus muscle gain.
I love that question, actually, because I think that we go through phases, you know. So let's say that you sign up for, let's say that you hire us as your coach, and we're going to start you in a reverse process where we increase your calories. Well, what we're doing there is we're trying to get metabolic balance back to your life. Your metabolism is not broken, you guys. You can't break yourself.
You have a metabolism.
Everybody has one. Whether it's fast, whether it's slow, whatever. Everybody has one, and it's working with the fuel that you're giving it. And so if you are if we are raising your calories and trying to get you to the top of a reverse, that's what we call it, then your body is recomping even if you're not seeing shifts on the scale. Like, if we are shifting your macros, your body is changing. Now, whether that is fat loss or muscle gain is determined on a lot of different things. Are you actually in the gym lifting heavy weights? If you're in the gym lifting heavy weights while going through a reverse, then sometimes that fat loss and that muscle gain are happening simultaneously. It doesn't always work like that. Now, what we want to do is we want to work on increasing calories, and then when we get you to the top of the reverse, and then we take you through a temporary cut, you have to have muscle to see muscle, right? So if I am a very sedentary person and I don't exercise very much and I don't have very much muscle on my body, and I don't I don't exercise through the reverse or anything, and I go through the reverse and I go through the cut, yes, I am going to lose fat. However, the muscle is not necessarily, that's not there, is not going to be revealed. Does that make sense? And so if you are lifting weights, if you are working out and you are going through the reverse process, once you go through that cut, because honestly, a lot of times in the cut process is where that fat loss is taking place. Yeah. You will like all of a sudden reveal biceps that you're like, whoa, look at that bicep. Yeah. Or, you know, look at that booty, different things, you know? And so when you, and I feel like this is a little bit of a sticky place, because when people are scared of muscle sometimes, not always, sometimes. Yeah. But I also feel like people don't realize, like, when you are exercising and working out on a reverse plan, you are building muscle. Yeah. You may not feel like it. And
my leanest is not my lightest.
No, of course not.
But I think that a lot of people don't fully grasp that.
Yeah.
Because, and to like piggyback on what Haley was saying, I really like to see taking a client through that reverse so that we can get that metabolic activation, and then taking them through a temporary deficit so that we can really see what we have to work with. And then from there, if we're strictly talking physical outcomes, then we can come up with a plan for more aggressive muscle building. You can build muscle while you're shedding fat. You absolutely can. But for people that want to more aggressively build muscle, that is oftentimes done in a slight surplus, which can be really uncomfortable for some people. So some people will stick at more maintenance numbers, and it's going to be a little bit slower of a process to really put on muscle mass while keeping fat, body fat percentage low. But not everybody can hang in a surplus. Especially women have a difficult time because they'll just feel a little bit fluffier. So there is a way to do them both. It just won't be as rapid of muscle growth. So it really depends. But I will say, like, back to just using myself as an example, we have several examples of the same body side by side at the same weight with drastically different body composition, because muscle doesn't necessarily weigh more than fat, but muscle for the same volumes, like this much muscle and this much fat, are going to weigh roughly the same because it's much more dense. And so you could have a 130-pound female that's measurements are significantly larger in one because they have more fat mass, and that its measurements are significantly smaller in the other because they have less fat and more muscle. So the weight is super, like, that's why it's just one data point. Yeah. And for those that do increase resistance training while shedding fat, they might not see as much change on the scale, but their body composition shifts are going to be significant.
Yeah, and let's go back to being in a surplus for a minute, because I think that we talk a lot about like being in a deficit, going through the reverse, being in maintenance, and we don't talk a lot about being in a surplus. Like, if you want to put on muscle, like build your muscle, you have to be fueling your body in order to do that. And so some people are like, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this. But honestly, if you're not giving your body the tools that it needs to build those muscles, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And if you're burning up all the calories that you're giving your body and you're not allowing a little bit extra in there to help build those muscles, then you're doing a disservice, and you're not going to get to your goals as quickly as you could if you were in a bit of a surplus. Now, we're not just saying to get to a surplus, I'm just going to eat X, Y, and Z as much as I want. No, if you do it strategically and you do it well, and you make sure that you're getting enough protein and enough fat and enough carbohydrates and the right balance, and you live at a surplus for it just depends on each person, but like a fair amount of time. Muscle doesn't build itself overnight. Like,
we're talking like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to build significant muscle,
you got to put in the work. So I'll give you an example. I have a male client who was with me several months ago, and we got him to a comfortable surplus. And when I say comfortable, it's not always comfortable, but it was a surplus of probably 200 calories or a little bit more over his maintenance. So he's gaining weight slowly, that was the goal. And I was like, okay, we are going to be here in the surplus. He has a fitness trainer that he's working with, all of the things. And I pushed him out of the program, and then he will come back in 6 months, and then I'll take him through a cut, move him back up to maintenance, and we'll see where we're at that point. And so that, you guys, is such a healthy way to put on muscle. Like, we're not going to keep you in the program.
Because then you put on muscle, and then if you go through a temporary deficit, it takes off any fat over that muscle, and then you're just left with the muscle.
You're just left with this beautiful, shapely, muscles.
And that's not a super common approach. Like, I will say we have more female clients than male clients. And most women are not comfortable in a surplus. Some are, but you can get muscle gains at maintenance. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But it's oftentimes where people are more comfortable. And that's where the individual plan comes in, right? But you can't build a house without wood. So you can't build a body without nutrients. Yeah. And a big thing, and that's why like when people are trying to build sometimes and they don't have strategy, they're just throwing calories at it. But there is a strategy to how you make up those calories. Protein being a huge one. Like a person's protein ratio to body weight is going to be far different if they're looking to build muscle than if they're either just looking to maintain or they're looking to just shed fat.
You put a piece of protein in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
I know. I'm actually hungry. Yeah.
Well, we're kind of late on our life today.
I know. So anyway, those are great questions. Yeah,
I love that. I love like the sciencey stuff of like how the body works and building muscle and losing fat, burning fat. Oh, that's what we're here for, you guys. We like that.
We are here for it.
Yeah.
It's not on our list, but I've had this question a couple of times in some consults that I've done this last week, and that is people trying to understand what we're actually doing to metabolism. And I'll just try to be really brief in how I describe that. Sorry for the background. Basically, regardless of where a person comes, like they come in, and we have an entire process live that we can reshare, but we're going to first see what a person is eating or drinking with any caloric value for roughly a week and what their natural macro breakdown is and on average how many calories they're consuming. And then we're going to look at their consult in terms of
what are their goals?
Yeah, activity level, like what, there's so many different factors in there. Are you on any medications? Do you have health history with specific areas? Are you still menstruating? Like all of those things. And so then we're going to take that and we're going to create a first assignment. That's going to look different for everybody because we might know where we want to get you or where we want to try to get you, but so much of it is going to depend on where you're starting because a lot of people start with what we call a down-regulated metabolism, meaning that their base metabolic rate is pretty low. And so through slowly increasing their calories and shifting their macros week over week if they're consistent, it allows us to actually impact your BMR, your base metabolic rate, so that you're burning more calories at rest. So now your body is actually burning more calories and we're able to fuel it more. And it's this revving engine that keeps going more and more. And people are like, how am I eating more and losing weight? And our bodies respond. Our bodies are super sophisticated. And so then we get them to what we call the top of our reverse, which usually means they're either starting to slightly gain and it's not coming back down, or they just feel like they're eating a really high volume of food and it's not enjoyable.
Yeah, like they're stuffing themselves.
Yeah. And so then we
all think we want to be there, you guys.
I know.
I remember the very first time I reversed, I was like, I cannot wait until I can just like, till I'm so full. Yeah. And then you get to that point and you're like, I just can't handle eating another bite of whatever it is.
But you have this really high firing metabolism and an adapted base metabolic rate. And then depending on how far from your goals you are, and we don't use a cut with everybody, we're going to take you through a temporary deficit. So now you have this high firing metabolism, a higher base metabolic rate, and then we decrease your calories. We keep your activity level the same, your hydration the same, all of the things. So now what happens is your body's going to use your fat storage to make up that difference. And we take you through that process and then we reclimb you slowly so that you have that activated metabolism, you have a higher caloric intake, you can maintain your lean body mass, and you have flexibility without deprivation, so it's sustainability. It's beautiful.
It is just... I want to do it.
I know. Who
doesn't want to do it?
What's so cool is along the way, all these other side benefits come, you guys. I mean, the sustained energy, the deep sleep, the hormone harmony, because it's all part of the same system. Our nervous system, our endocrine system, our gut, our brain, like it's all connected.
It's all part of your body.
The hormone harmony alone, like I just wish that for everybody because so many men and women live in a hormone hurricane and it is no way to live.
No. Oh my gosh.
Like no way to live. So
brain function. We had somebody comment on Instagram, brain function.
Yeah.
And you know what? To piggyback on that, Joy, with brain function, we talk about brain fog and cognition a lot, and people don't realize when you're in like a brain fog situation, sometimes you don't realize it, but like little things like word recall. It's like sometimes word recall is difficult for me, and I'm like, I just cannot think of the word. Well, oftentimes I can look back and be like, well, yesterday I ate X, Y, and Z, and today I am having a hard time with word recall, or I can't remember things, or
You're really cognitively sharp today. What did you eat this morning?
Well, so I eat the same breakfast every morning, but today, for one, we sauna'd. We were in the sauna for a long time this morning, and I think that actually really helps with my brain cognition. But today I had 1 regular egg, 3 egg whites, and then 2.5 ounces of Lily Eats and Tells carnitas and like 85 grams of raspberries and some blueberries.
Delicious.
So anyway, pretty balanced breakfast, but my brain is like clear and functioning well, and I always notice a difference when it's not, and I can almost always trace it back. For me, I can almost always trace it back to gluten and grains, and I would have never even known that had I not been on a macro plan years ago. So anyway.
It's so interesting. Okay, you guys, so those were the questions that came in. We're going to wrap here pretty soon. You can always send your questions in. Let's just talk real briefly about a handful of things that we can all do in evaluating moving into 2023. Because, I mean, really, we should be doing this throughout the year, but I just know more people are motivated to step back and evaluate. And I think one of the most important things you can do is just to step back and evaluate. Mm-hmm. Like, take an inventory. What are some things that bring you joy? And we actually, on the toolbox of our website, macromavens.life, we have a joy strategy overview. And I don't know, for me, yes, I think that if we can all achieve better health, better relationships, better finance, all those things. But I think for me, it comes back to joy. And so what can we all do to create more joy in our lives and the lives of the people that we love? And oftentimes that will be things like improve our health, improve our energy, improve our sleep. But I think there's some real tangibles there. And so take an inventory of like, what are you doing when you feel your best? What is exciting to you? What are you thinking about in your white space when you're in the shower?
Do you allow yourself white space?
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
That's been a goal of mine for a long time. And I've actually been a little bit better at it in 2022 than I have in the past before that. But like allowing yourself time to think. We live in a world, you guys, that is so busy all the time, and there's so much input.
Yeah.
And I am like a gobbler of like knowledge and input and education. Like I want to listen to all the podcasts, and I want to read all the books, and I want to listen to all the audiobooks, and I want to do it all. And it doesn't allow for much white space time. And I didn't today, but like I've been like, I normally listen to a podcast when I'm in the shower just because it's a good time to like have uninterrupted time. And I was like not allowing myself to do that. Like, no, I'm going to take the time. It's like what, 10, 15 minutes in the shower to just, well, I don't know how long I'm in there. I mean, if it's a hair washing day, it's for sure 10 minutes at least. But like just a few minutes during the day where like there is nothing like inputting into my brain, like not turning off the music, all of those things. It's really important to allow yourself that space to actually think and get creative and I don't know, reflect. It's really important.
And what's ridding you of your joy? Like, what are the things in that white space that you're stressed about? Like, evaluate that. And then is there things within there that you can eliminate or that you can inflict change or that you can have positive conversations about? Because all of those things impact health. And so I think, goals are great to have, but you have to have a strategy to achieve that goal. So if it's a specific health goal, a specific accomplishment, physical accomplishment, mental accomplishment, whatever it may be. If it's a improved relationship, if it is improved finances or, a specific trip, whatever that is, define it. Like, define it. Because if you don't define it, like the first step is to define it. And then it's to reverse engineer it and it's to have a strategy. And specific to health, like we're here to help you with that strategy. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. And like we have a process that works. And so what's so cool is all the other things that come along. Like so many of our clients end up being so much more motivated in other areas of their life because they're feeling good. Yeah. And I keep going back to, there's just so many people out there that they struggle to get up and to feel good and to live without pain. And they don't do some of the things they would like to because they're uncomfortable. And like, you don't have to live that way.
Go
You
back to
don't.
our post. I posted it
Yeah.
yesterday, the day before.
Yeah.
Our bodies were designed to feel good.
Yeah.
To feel good, you guys. That's how we were made. If you don't feel good, if your body hurts, if you're in pain, that is not the design for your life. Like, that is not typical. And oftentimes we can curb that, we can help that, we can actually rid your body of pain simply by changing the foods that you're eating.
Absolutely. So we have so much goodness coming in 2023. We're so excited for what is ahead, and we can't wait to share more with you guys. Once again, if you guys are interested in learning more and partnering with us and taking advantage of our special, go to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button. It does not commit you to anything, but it lets a coach reach out, answer questions, see if we're a good fit, and get you started. And man, guys, like, why not?
Honestly, you are worth it.
You're worth
right?
it. Yeah, you absolutely are. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah.
Message us anytime. We love it.
Hey, we'll see you next year.
Yeah, we will. We'll see you before then.
This is yeah.
Just not on a live.
Just not on a live.
Yeah.
So if you don't come back until our next live, then we'll see you next year. Otherwise, have a great new year, you guys.
Thank you guys for being here and for letting us do this.
Totally.
We love it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
See ya.
Bye.